Hey guys, I have a confession to make. I am about to tell you an embarrassing secret that you may have mixed feelings about. It's something I hate to admit, but for both of our sakes, I feel we need to discuss because it is an ever-growing problem and it's time to come clean. I've been affected with a disease. It's a debilitating disease, one that few people recover from, even fewer survive. Anyone afflicted, including myself, quickly realizes how this disease negatively impacts every aspect of their lives. Careers stagnate, relationships strain, even simple everyday tasks become a struggle. And the disease in question is getting invested in a really good show. And not just a normal kind of invested, like, oh, I really like this show, I'm gonna watch a couple episodes of it every day. It's the type of invested where every waking moment of your day is spent thinking about when you're gonna get to watch the next episode. And you put things off, important things, off for the sake of watching this show. So sorry about the less frequent uploads, but unfortunately, I've found myself a little too busy watching Monster. Yes, the show taking over every aspect of my life is an anime, but goddammit, it's a good one. It recently, well, semi-recently made its way to Netflix, and at first I didn't really pay much mind to it. It just seemed like one of the many, standard anime that show up on the platform that you never get around to watching. I don't even know how to explain it. At this point, I can only chalk it up to some cruel form of dark magic or a prank by God himself. But somehow, after just glancing at the show while going through my Netflix catalog, I started coming across it in other places as well. I started watching videos that I had no idea would be related to the show in any way, but they end up bringing up the show, talking about how amazing it is, and recommending it to anyone who's watching. I even got some personal recommendations from people in the chat while streaming. So at that point, I figured I might as well give it a shot. So many people seem to be talking about it right now, so why not? Maybe it'll be worth my time. And oh boy, was that an understatement. Monster has quickly become one of my favorite shows. I have not been this invested in an anime storyline probably since I started watching Attack on Titan. I mean, there's other good animes that I've watched, but it's never been something that I've been super invested in. Like, I recently started watching One Piece, and that show also contributed to quite a bit of my procrastination. I thought it was a very fun show. It was enjoyable to watch. It made me feel good, but it's also over 1,000 episodes long with a lot of filler and pointless garbage. So with a show like that, I would just have it playing on in the background while I was doing something actually productive. Or, if I just wanted to relax and waste some time, I could put the show on while I'm on my phone doing something else at the same time as well. But that's not the case with Monster. When I'm watching this show, I am fully plugged in. I set my phone down and rarely do I check it, which is not the case for most shows I watch. And even when I'm not watching the show, all I can think about is the show. What is this character gonna do next? What is this mystery that hasn't been solved yet? I have to know. I swear, anytime I'm not watching Monster, it's like I'm a crack addict roaming the streets looking for their next fix. I could die at this very moment, and my only regret in life would be that I haven't seen the next episode of Monster. It's just such a good show, and I haven't been this invested in a show in a very long time. It's a remarkable work, and its storytelling and its overall narrative is just beautifully portrayed. If you haven't heard of Monster before, it's an anime from the early 2000s, and it follows the story of Dr. Tenma. He is a practicing neurosurgeon and overall just one of the most knowledgeable doctors around. He can essentially determine what's wrong with any patient at a glance. If you have a gunshot wound, he can determine, oh, that man's been shot in the Gibbs artery and we need to stick a tube in him so that we can drain the blood so he doesn't die even after we put stitches in him. So he's this established, successful doctor, and one day a pair of twins get admitted to his hospital. Their parents had been killed, the sister was in a state of shock from the trauma of the event, and the brother had a bullet wound in his head. Dr. Tenma operates on the boy, saving his life, and then they suddenly disappear. But then 9 years pass, and things get a little wacky. The boy comes back to Tenma as an adult and reveals himself to be a murderer. And not just any murderer, a vicious, cold-blooded and calculated murderer. Many people don't believe he exists, and the ones who do call him a monster. After this revelation, Tenma quits his job as a practicing doctor and goes on a journey to find the boy who he's previously saved and kill him in order to prevent future murders by him. The premise alone caught my attention, and on top of that, I just love animes like this that really delve into these psychological, philosophical conflicts that the main characters have to confront. As we talked about, Tenma is a very successful and dedicated doctor. It's his job to save people's lives, but now he's faced with a situation where in order to save lives, he has to take one. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of my favorite show, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, just this idea of conflicting morals and interests. In that show, Edward and Alphonse are these two boys who are searching for the Philosopher's Stone because they've lost their bodies and they're hoping that this stone will somehow be able to give them the power to return them back to normal. And I guess I'm about to get into spoilers for that show, but it's a pretty old show at this point and a popular one at that, so I'd hope that it's not an issue at this point. But anyway, it's revealed that the Philosopher's Stone is made by using human lives, and obviously this presents a dilemma to the brothers because they don't want to take anyone's life to create the stone, and even when they're presented with circumstances where they have a stone that's already been created, they don't want to use it because they know that that stone has been used to take lives. And even though they themselves wouldn't be taking the lives to create the stone, they wouldn't be able to look at themselves in the mirror and not think about all the lives that were taken and subsequently used just to give them what they wanted. So I just love shows that put the main characters in these conflicts with themselves, and I think when it's pulled off and when it's done right, it creates one of the most interesting things that you can watch. So yeah, I've been stuck watching Monster lately. It has me trapped in its icy grip and there's no escape. And I'm not even done with the show yet. In fact, I'm only a little over halfway through it at this point. It is life-consuming in the best way possible. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys about that because I've really been enjoying the show and I want to recommend it to you guys. And I also just have a lot of videos left over from my time in North Carolina that haven't gotten edited yet, and it's still not getting edited because of this show. Anyway, that's about it from me. This is a cry for help, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.